Good evening, my retro babes. Tonight we'll be reviewing The Covenant. Let's get into it, shall we? So the movie starts, and we're in the middle of some type of bonfire party, and we're not even introduced. We're just thrown, girl, right into the scene, and we're introduced to about 6 or 7 characters all at once. The 4 Ipswich, whatever, and then Sarah, Kate, and damn it, I can't remember his name, and the bad guy. That's what we're gonna call him for right now, the bad guy. And it's so insane because Sarah literally shows up, and there's this random girl that literally hates Sarah guts. For what reason? Well, it's because she's the main female lead, so of course other ladies hate her. Now, while we're at this party, they basically trying to give us a little bit of exposition to let us know that the sons of Ipswich, damn it, I'm gonna be messing up this name all night. But anyway, the sons of Ipswich have magical powers. Yay! Right? That they're not supposed to be using. So who please Reed decides to fix Sarah's car with his magical powers, and once he's done fixing Sarah's car with his magical powers, we then see them go off on the longest chase. I swear this has to be the longest chase scene I've ever seen in my life with the cops, and they all chip in and they use their magical powers to, you know what, I gotta show it to you guys. Alright, so yeah. After that, we then see that Kate and Sarah gets back to their dorm, and we find out, guess what, guys? Sarah's not like the other girls. She's smart and she's beautiful, and guess what? She's not bitchy at all, and she's easy to get along with because she's the main character. I kid you guys not. It's what in the world? But anyway, we get to see Sarah take a way too long shower. Why? Because it's the early 2000s and that's just everybody did a shower scene, I guess. But while in the shower, Sarah starts to feel like somebody is watching her. You know? Sometimes I feel like somebody watching me. I don't want to play the music so I don't get copywritten. But yeah. So, guys, I swear, when I tell you the first couple minutes of this movie, absolutely nothing happened. Nothing at all. At this point, she is showering for about 10 minutes. And maybe I'm exaggerating, but that's what it feels like to me. And we're at the 33-minute mark. And they've met at the bonfire. They've driven. She's taken a shower. And we're almost 35 minutes into this movie. Next scene. We need a change of pace. So anyhow, they end up at the bar. And I swear, at this point, I'm thinking maybe Pug should be the main male lead because, yeah, he's to me, he's more interesting than Caleb. I said what I said, and I said what I said. So basically, remember how they told us how they have majestic powers that they shouldn't abuse, because if they abuse those powers, they could dwindle away their life, life and death in hand. We then get a scene where we see 3 of the 4 guys basically bet on what type of underwear sis have on and use their power to create a gust of wind to blow up this lady's skirt. Now, after the dance scene turned to a fight scene, to a magical fight scene, we get the dean with Caleb in his office basically threatening him to make sure that he takes good care of Colin or else. But the scene literally makes no sense because aren't the sons of Ipswich the founding families of the entire town? So wouldn't they have also had hands and founding the school and funding it, especially since they have so much money? Wouldn't they have huge influence over the school and over the politics in the town? Why would he then be threatened into taking care of Colin. But I guess the plot needed some type of device to make us think in our head that they have no choice but to be nice to him and hang out with him. Woo! So, of course, since we already had the arms out scene in the bar, we're gonna get a swim scene. So, here are the four guys with no clothes on except for their little swim trunks child, because this is a teenage movie. This is supposed to be like a teenage girl fantasy movie. But anyway. And during this race is when Caleb figures out that Colin also has magical powers. And then they decide to go into the library to figure out exactly where is he from. And I kid you not, remember how they keep telling us about dwindling away your powers will dwindle away your life? These guys could have hidden behind a shelf. But they didn't. They left the shelf open and they then decided to levitate above the security guard. And of course, some papers fall out and they gotta use their powers to freeze the papers mid-air. Why couldn't y'all hide behind a shelf again? Someone please let me know. But anyway, they want to remind us that they have these magical powers because, my God, it's like they barely use them, and the things that they use them for is just so ridiculous. It doesn't even seem magical at all. Now, obviously, they gotta show us that they have some type of spooky lair because they're wizards. So anyhow, we end up at the lair, and once again, Caleb them using their powers to save the world by grabbing a book off the shelf. And while they sit down in a little circle child with 1,000 candles burning in the background, they get a call from Sarah letting them know that Kate is comatose. Remember when Kate's boyfriend Pug was telling us, say, don't hang out with that guy because he gives him the heebie-jeebies, and she was trying to say that, oh, you're just so jealous and I hate how jealous you are. Psych. Turns out that he was an evil warlock trying to use you to get the Pug to get the Caleb. Now you're comatose.
Come to save little Miss Muffet, have we?
Child, that line. Anyway, so we end up at Sarah's room where we see her open up the door for Caleb, and he comes in and he starts talking. However, there's a knock on the door. When she opened up the door, she realized it's Caleb times 2. And then she's ghosted into the bed, where your boy basically lets Caleb know that he can either will him his power or get his butt beat like he just did just now. And my God, he wiped the floor with Caleb. You know, I'm going to say something about Colin. Colin Bach has to be killing him, girl, because he is carrying this movie. He's trying to carry all of these bland performances on his back to get to the finish line, child. But kudos to him. I mean, he's the only person that I've seen use these powers, quotation mark, like they are powers, and I like see something manifest from it other than wind. So now, all of a sudden, we see them get dressed for this ball. Maybe I didn't realize when they mentioned it, but I never heard them talk about no ball before now. But of course, they have to get dressed to let us know that they look good in suits. You know, so basically they get dressed and we see him give Sarah over to his 2 friends. I know Reed's name. Oh God, please forgive me. I can't remember the other guy's name because I swear he said like 2 lines in this movie. Once again, an underused character that probably could have added something, but I guess they were saving him for part 2. Part 2 never came. But anyway. And as soon as they literally walk out there with Sarah, she disappears. Colin kidnaps her, and the plan goes to hell.
Make you my wish.
Oh, Jesus, I swear I don't know who's be writing these lines for this show. But anyway, we basically get to reach to the final act now of this movie. And the fight scene, and it's supposed to be absolutely exciting. Who please these guys them out here fighting with the sound of music? Anyway, y'all saw that fight scene. So anyhow, the fight is done. And now, once again, they don't show you nothing. So you don't even see when he picks Sarah up from her floating in the fire. He just walks out the barn with her. They just cut and he's walking out the barn. Like, what in the world? Anyway, we basically see that they find out that there's no one in the barn, basically trying to hint that there may be a part two. And once again, we see Caleb completely misusing this power that he just got from his dad that had to die to give it to him to fix his windshield in the front of like 50 people. Jeez. Anyway, the end. Sarah. Let's talk about Sarah. We've seen this type of character be created before. Tale as old as time, where they create a very generic, relatable, every girl. You should be able to envision yourself as this person, so it allows you to get more invested in the character. Man, did they fall short here, because this character does nothing. It's almost like she's just a placeholder. They created no story for Sarah. Sarah has no family, apparently. Sarah just shows up in the middle of the night, in the middle of nowhere, from nowhere, going nowhere, because Sarah says she's here because she wants to go to Harvard. But my God, as far as we're concerned, when Sarah got here, this is her first time ever interacting with humans, because Sarah knows absolutely nothing of the outside world. Apparently, she's created just for this specific situation. Sarah stomps her feet while dancing. Sarah showers. Sarah calls. Sarah cries. And also, Sarah is scared. Yes, that is Sarah's character. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say that the actress did a bad job. I feel like she played the role that they wanted her to play, but they didn't try to like carve Sarah out. Like, there's no way that this girl is so smart and she already figured out like her career path and her college path while in high school, and there's nothing at all that even talks about her interest outside of Caleb in this specific situation. It's like everything that she's ever dreamed of just goes away, child, because that has nothing to do with right now. Now, for the main lead, Caleb. Oh, Lord, they really trying to shove this down our throat that he's supposed to be the main lead. They make him the oldest, they make him the leader of the group, they make him the more responsible one, and my God, he is boring. Boring. Like, really and truly, how is he the leader of his group but seems to not even be able to mediate between the people that he says he's known all his life? And then he just assumes that because he tell people to do things that they're just gonna listen to him, because why? I'm stronger than you. What in the world? Like, no, that's not how you lead. You lead by example. And although he's telling everybody, make sure don't lose your powers now, make sure don't use your powers now, he uses his powers the most in this movie. And some of the times it's from just some of the most trivial things. It's just like, oh God. And of course they make him like this intense swimmer guy that's like, oh, this is kill. Anyway, whatever. It was very blah. It was very generic. He was very generic. Now, who I would see as the main lead would be Pug, because one, although he is the bad guy with the motorbike and the long hair, that'll change just for you. Like, I can't even believe that they wasted that character. That'll change just for you because he cares for you. Duh. He also seems very intuitive and seems as if he understands each member of their group for who they are and accepts that and kind of like meets them at that point. But anyway, they didn't ask me my opinion when it's making it. So all in all, I remember going to the actual movie theaters to watch The Covenant, because at this point in time, I think Twilight came out a few months, I think, before this, and we wanted something. I wanted something to kind of like hold me off until like Twilight came, and based on the trailers, I genuinely thought that The Covenant would be that. I was like, ooh, I'ma be there. But I didn't realize that the female leads kind of were like throwaway characters instead of like how with Twilight Bella was to me. And I don't want to like create a comparison, but that's what I compared it to when I went to go and watch it when I was a kid. It has the same kind of like color scheme and everything. But anyway, how Bella, it was kind of like Bella's story, and Edward was like the guy in her story. It was kind of like the Sons of Ipswich story, and the women were disposable at best, so they didn't even make time to kind of like flesh them out. It was just like, yeah, we'll have y'all say like 4 lines in this movie. Other than that, you be comatose, and you just do what we tell you to do and look cute. It was, I don't know if they really were trying to make this movie for female audiences, because it didn't feel that way to me. I didn't feel like I was seeing basically when I watched that movie. I just came out of the movie theater and I was like, huh, okay, I guess. And the second time, once I watched this for the review again, I felt the same way. It was just like, okay, I guess. So, was it a good watch? Yeah, that's debatable, but honestly, I did like taking a trip down memory lane and watching it again and kind of like feeling the nostalgia of watching the movie. So, would I recommend it? Yeah, just to say, well, I tried The Covenant, just try it out and see what you guys think.